The podcasters.
Is it really? How can we be sure?
Well, I've got a perfect way for you to be sure. I just need to see your eyes.
Hold on. I was literally about to make the same joke.
I need a blood sample and
a blood sample and a live wire.
Yeah.
We'll see. Oh boy. Goodness.
That was something else I was thinking too. At some point, I am thinking of letting my son play an M-rated game because he is getting to that point now where he's not of the recommended age, but I mean his age. I'm pretty sure I was playing Parasite Eve and Resident Evil, and
yeah, exactly.
So my wife and I are trying to figure out what should be his first M-rated game to play.
Yeah.
Because we are not going to waste it on something stupid like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is fun, but, you know, there's better M-rated games that you could be playing. Yeah, she is.
Oh my
Just lay back down. You're fine.
No, it's my show.
But yeah. So
Isn't Halo M-rated?
It is,
Some
but again,
of them are?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Dead Space. Favor says Dead Space remake. There you go.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't want to
peel someone like a chicken in this game. Here we go.
Which we just saw that went to Game Pass recently too.
Yeah.
The remake was.
Yep.
But yeah, we're trying to just find something to kind of ease him into it. That was something that we were thinking about because he wants to play. What is it? Origins is T-rated right now.
Okay.
But the other two are M-rated. Arkham and I think City are both M-rated.
I feel like that first Arkham Asylum isn't super R-rated, unless I'm forgetting something.
The thing you're forgetting is the Scarecrow sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are
horrific.
Those are pretty tense.
But yeah, so we're trying to rack our brains and think of something to kind of ease him into it, because even now when he comes to me and he's like, oh, I want to buy this game, and my first I don't care, and then I'm like, wait a minute, okay, no, I have to be responsible. What's the rating on the game?
Right. Check out the ESRB website,
because there was one time that I suggested a game to him and he's like, Dad, that's M-rated, and I'm like, look, all right, I'm old enough that I don't have to pay attention to what the rating is, okay?
And also, like, at some point it's like it's okay for you to for him as a kid to like push his boundaries a little bit of like watching something that's a little more scary, and it's like, okay, that was too scary, I didn't like that, or something like that. Like there's a safe way I feel like a lot of people, this is not saying that you wouldn't do this, but like there's a lot of people that are like, it's a hard line of they can't do this, they can't watch this. It's like they should push a little bit out of their comfort zone every once in a while.
Exactly.
Asylum and City are both teen, by the way.
Are they? Okay, maybe it was Origin that was M or something, but
I feel like there was one of them that was M.
Yeah,
M is Night. Night is M.
Gotcha.
He did play Gotham Knights on Game Pass, and he has played Spider-Man. That's pretty much the same combat systems, but I mean they're teen rated anyway. But yeah, just trying to find something.
Dead Season
simple.
1?
No. I don't need him making morality choices.
Hey, Dad, I killed everybody.
Yeah, my compass is already broken, so I'm trying to guide him a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just something that we were thinking about that every parent eventually does. It's like, okay, well, they're getting old enough. What content, do we think they're ready for?
There's also the whole part of like, we come from a generation that like PG-13 didn't exist. Like for us, it was PG, then 18. At least in England, it's 18. It's M over here, I believe. But like, we come from that era of like, Gremlins is arguably 16 to a 17-year-old. I would say.
Probably,
for a couple of scenes.
We're the generation that has the saying, is this a PG movie or an 80s PG movie?
That's right. Well, like, our games didn't have any ratings growing up, so it was like, is Doom okay? It's like, I don't know. Maybe. Whoops, yep, that's a lot of blood. That's awesome.
Remind me about this conversation when we're not recording, and I got something I can tell you that really fucking pissed me off.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is M-rated. And it's a
that's
big
true.
open world that he
True.
likes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There are options out there. Just because a game is M-rated doesn't mean that, you're necessarily ripping someone's head off and shitting down their throat.
Exactly, yeah.
Those do exist.
Go
Right.
for Origins. Go for Origins. It's the best of the Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, get them started with the new.
Yeah, I was going to say
new
the
series.
180-hour.
Right.
I like Valhalla, and I like the one before that I can't remember the subtitle for. Origins is the best one, in my opinion, because
Odyssey.
it's got the best
The other one.
character. Thank you.
Well, and then, then my wife and I were both like, well, just let him play Parasite Eve. It's an RPG. We've both played it
Sure.
thoroughly. We know what's
Sure.
in there.
I mean,
A lot of
Elden Ring
mitochondria.
is there too.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, just fun parenting things that we're dealing with.
Yeah. New challenges.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Last of Us. There you go. Probably.
No,
There you
fuck
go.
that game. So I am. I don't think that game's as good as everyone keeps saying it
It's
is.
not.
I don't
Agreed.
think the story's that great. I don't think the controls are that great, and I don't think the game itself is that great.
Yep.
I'm not going to subject my son to playing that game.
That's right.
If he turns 18 and wants to spend or when he turns 18 and he wants to
That's
spend
right.
his own money on that game, fucking knock yourself out. But
Right. Oh man.
because then like God of War came out, and I'm like, that is the 2018 one.
I could
is
see
not
that one.
as violent as the
It's not.
original God
And
of Wars,
it
but
doesn't
there
have
is
any of the-
still,
It doesn't
some
have any of
violence
the
in there.
scenes involving the gods of love.
Exactly.
Right.
So I mean that there's all kinds of things that we're just bouncing off of each other right now. Just like do we remember that being exactly what that is? Because there's movies and stuff that my wife has shown them, and we get to a certain point and we're like, huh, that was not our proudest parenting moment.
Oh, that was in this movie. I didn't remember that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my last sidetrack thing.
Yeah,
All right, you guys
I would
ready?
say if you want him to play one thing for 60,000 hours, give him Assassin's Creed Origins. He's
There you
got
go.
a million things
Yeah.
to do in there.
Yeah.
I'd have to replay parts of that just to remember everything. I don't think
The
there's anything
only-
horrific in it.
And on
The only
oranges,
questionable things are like the god sequences, when you
Mm.
have the giant crocodile, things like that.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. All right. Are you guys ready to start this thing?
Sure, why not?
Ready.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
Hi, I'm back.
Nobody cares.
And the Nib.
Hello.
And Moon's leaving. Thanks, bye. Once Moon returns, he can help me tell you about patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Get all the cool early access, behind the scenes, exclusive, uncensored, good stuff over there, like The Outcast, where Moon and I talked about our respective vacations over the last couple of weeks. Get all the good deets over there. That comes out every week. That's all the stuff we talk about that isn't video games, 99% of the time. Talk about that. What's going on in our lives? That's that stuff over there. Also get recommended tier is the $5 one. You get access to everything over in that tier, including the Wayward Sons, which is the supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Imp are going through, and embarking on this journey together.
Literally wrapping up the end of season 1 as
go.
we speak. That's going to be an interesting journey so far.
Yeah, so get in on the ground floor at the beginning of that journey. You also get early access to Critical Misses. Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we missed. The $5 tier, you get exclusive access to the production meeting. Season 24's production meeting is especially interesting as a last-minute left-hand turn of we had a season plan, and then whoops. You also get early access to We Roguelike It, where Moon and I are starting a brand new roguelike this week. Talking about Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde over the last month, including on this very show last week. I suspect we'll probably talk about it a little bit again this week.
Just a little.
Check on us in a little bit in the future. All that and more, patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Well, I've got a lot, because I got 2 weeks worth of games here to talk about. Keep that in mind. Let's start with Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde.
Okay.
Because now that I know you guys have played it, because I didn't listen to last week's episode, I'm waiting for my Patreon download for that to happen. I actually played a little bit of that over the past week as I mentioned on the We Roguelike It side. I don't want to think kind of thing.
Right.
And now
for it.
Yep.
Especially now I can literally thank you, Boston, for the zoom out tip, by the way, because
on the web?
On the web, yes.
Yep.
If you press the bumpers, you can zoom out. I did not know that. And it really annoyed me. So now I have focus, I have goals, okay, now I need to do this map on this difficulty. Perfect. I'm just going to do a run at that. But before I do that, I'm going to check and see if anybody has any challenges to do that so I can multitask my way to the end of the game, essentially.
Right.
Because that is what I do. I am a min-maxer. I cannot help myself. It is ingrained in my soul. Well, Spirit Hunters, we talked about it for 4 weeks. Catch me up. I'm assuming Nim's been playing it this week.
I played it last week and this week. I have beaten all the levels on hard and brutal. I have completed everything on the top web. I have completed almost everything on the bottom web. I just have all that's left on the bottom web is I have to complete all the brutal challenges for all the characters so that I can unlock the last nodes at the very end. So
did you play anything other than this?
Dude, I had to play a couple games yesterday so that we didn't just talk about this game.
That'd be all right. Spear Hunters is really good.
Okay, so Moon and I recorded Wayward Sons this Thursday, and I told him Thursday I have a game to talk about, and that was that game. So, I will say one thing I hate about the challenges for this game is some of them have certain weapons that you cannot choose.
Right. Did you actually?
But they're still on the stupid list to choose them.
Yeah.
And as we were just talking about, it is a great game to shut your brain off. The problem is I shut my brain off so hard playing this game that I get to the end of it and I'm like, why didn't I get the challenge?
Ooh,
and then realized I picked
you feel like
yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
past me, come on.
Why is it there?
That's great.
But yeah, other than that though, I've only got 2 trophies left, and that's unlock the entire web, and then unlock 100 of the web on hardcore or whatever.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
And that's all I got left to do for those.
I played this for a month and didn't get this far, and you literally must be playing nothing but this game. I'm not
literally
even kidding.
Yeah, because I had to take a break for Friday from not even playing games, just walking away and just do something, go touch grass,
So good.
Is it the Vampire Survivor bug has got you?
It's that, and the fact that it's just simple to find out what you need. You always have a goal to achieve, and it's really simple for you to see. When you pull up the ledger and you have all the maps right there, and it shows you, hey, you've only beaten this game on normal.
This map on this mode.
Yeah,
right.
And I know that the nodes in the web, okay, at some point I'm going to have to beat these maps on hard to unlock more nodes, and then eventually on brutal to get more nodes. So it's like you were saying, it's real easy to track and see, okay, I need to do this, this, and this so that I can unlock this section.
It's really, I don't think we've given a lot of credit, but I think we can't understate how nice that the web is to just say, here are the things you need to go do. Here's the map where these things are to go defeat to unlock this node. There's no confusion of it. There's no Binding of Isaac level of what could this be? Wink. It's just bro, I just want to keep playing. What does this even mean? And this game's nope, just go do this.
That's literally exactly what I was doing. I was trying to unlock the final second tier of abilities, the bouncing shurikens and the other things, and I was like, well, how do I get these? And it's like, kill this monster on this map on
Right.
this difficulty. So like
I gotta
literally just go in the
I gotta
ledger
step
and
away
pick a
for a minute.
challenge.
If you guys can keep talking, I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I will just go into the ledger, pick that character that specifically. I'll just be like, okay, what's the map symbol? Find the map symbol, find the right difficulty, and just scroll through the characters. So, because, like you said, sooner or later I'm going to have to do a hard challenge with this character anyway to unlock another node. So I might as well just find a specific map that has that specific challenge on it, and then I can knock 3 things out at once: a specific enemy, a hard challenge, and that map on X difficulty or whatever.
Yeah, and I like too that even when you're doing the challenges, whatever you do on that level still reflects to, like, you don't have to replay that level. Like if you're doing a brutal challenge,
it's counted as progress.
Yeah, if you hadn't beaten that level on brutal yet, but you completed the brutal challenge, it counts to that. You don't have to do like 2 separate runs for it. So I think they've done a lot of good, smart things with the quality of life in this game. Do you have a particular, I guess, like, character that you like to use?
I like probably three characters, in no particular order. I like the genie. I don't like his special ability, but I like how he plays with the 8 health total, and then every time you take a hit, you get a decoy kind of thing. I like the blue witch lady, who's like the second character you get, just because she gets like 25% bonus XP essentially for that first skill that you use with her.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the tree guy too. I don't know his name. But the guy who does the poison, he looks like he's got like a Majora's Mask looking thing on. And what his special ability is, like, he just covers the entire screen in poison, but his ability ticks upwards. So if the longer you wait,
like the voodoo doctor or whatever. Yeah.
The more damage you do with his special whenever you use it. I actually did a hard challenge with him, which was the golden chicken challenge, and that's when you have the AoE spell that does, but then you turn people into chickens and also generate gold from it. So I ended up I think I got to like level 88 with him because I was just running around collecting gold, going to every shop I could. And then as soon as I was done with the shop, I was like, cool, buy everything, find the next shop. Buy everything, find the next shop, because I just always have more than enough gold for it. I do not like the guy who can't heal.
Yeah, the Wraith or whatever.
Yeah. I don't like him. I don't like the cat lady. Who fires the stupid energy beams as her special.
Yeah, that energy beam thing's kind of weird.
It's terrible is what it is.
Yeah. The only one that I seem to use consistently is the Knight. And when I use the Knight with the Vine, every time he casts the Vine, he gains 2 HP. And his ultimate does that shield push where any enemies around it pushes them away, but then he also gains HP back for each enemy that's pushed back. So that has helped me a lot, but I seem to roll with vines starting out.
Always vines. If I can get them, I use vines and shock trap the lightning bolt.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, same thing. The lightning I go back and forth on, but I use that consistently. The bone I use consistently, but the fourth one I kind of just. I don't have another favorite out of those 3, so I kind of waver. Like the scythe that you can get, when you get that eventually, you get like an echo, where you have like a slash thing. Yeah, another person. Well, you get the slash, and then you've got the other person that's following you that repeats your attacks, and eventually you can upgrade that so that there's 2, I guess, like shadows or echoes of yourself that are attacking with you. And in some situations, I find that can get pretty powerful. But it's still directional, and it's kind of a pain sometimes to line everything up the way you want it to.
Yeah, that's why I have a tendency to go for the lightning and the vines, because the vines is random, but it gives you a path of traversal.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing with the bones, too, since those only shoot up, above you and below you at the same time. You get, like, the cooldown maxed out on that, so it's just constantly throwing stuff outside, and then you upgrade it so that it does the spikes. and you kind of have an AoE that's constantly going off and guarding you as well, on top of the vines giving you a path, on top of the lightning, especially when you get chain lightning with that. There's just so much crap going on at once. It's like, all right, this is going well.
I like the chain lightning. I hate the shock mines. Like Boston really loved the shock mines. He wouldn't shut up about the shock mines. Like when you have the chain lightning and it turns into just dropping like literally
little turrets
like,
or whatever. Yeah.
I do not like them at all because I tend to go with stuff that is a little more random. So because it's more random, I like having the lightning around me at all times. So I've got that circle of protection.
Yeah.
That I know if I need to, I can kind of slowly make my way in one direction. Whereas with the shock mines, when you drop them, they can be powerful if you can drop a lot of them. But I find that I end up like dropping one and then running out of its sphere of influence. And the second I'm out of its sphere of influence, I'm just like, oh no, now I'm not doing any damage to these people right next to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I usually, if I go to do the turrets, I max it out so it decreases the time between when I'm dropping turrets. So you can usually get, I think, 4 of them out before they start replacing themselves. So you can get a okay grid going, especially with like the vines going as well, especially if you got the bombs going. Like, there's no end to it. The vine shooters that you can get with the vines, I'm not a huge fan of them. They're fine, but I consistently stick with damage and the pod bombs for the vine, and that's it. Like those, I just pump everything into those two, and those by themselves usually can take out, even on brutal, once you get everything maxed out, those can usually take out like whole areas of people. So
see, I don't take this out of context, everybody. But I like making things big. So like anytime I can get the whale pet, increases the size, and anytime I can do like increase of size, it's just like just give me that every time. Because then what might be like the golden chicken challenge or whatever it is, that was rough until I got the whale pet, and I upgraded him so everything was like 80% bigger, and it's just like half of my
massive circle
is this AoE thing.
That's the other thing too. Like with the pets, I usually try to get Hardy, the cat healing one. I try to get the pot one that increases the XP that you get, and then from there it's kind of just like a crapshoot of what am I trying to, like, if I'm doing a challenge, do I need whatever. Bacon I know has helped quite a bit, especially on like the brutal modes where you're just pulling it off, and then you get like that massive wave, and then Bacon activates, and you're like, all right, cool. No one is paying attention to me. I have plenty of space to move around in now, and then it's done, and then everything.
The octopus that sings?
Yep. So, which that when it's fully upgraded, that's got a pretty decent, because you have to stay within the circle, AoE area. Yeah, but that gets pretty big once you upgrade it all the way. So it leaves you plenty of room, and if you're doing stuff with like mines or stuff like that, it leaves you plenty of room to drop a bunch of those, so that way you're not having issues.
I hate mines like so much.
But especially with like the challenge stuff though, because some of that stuff can't, like we were talking about with Wraith, he can't heal at all, and you can't buy hearts in the shop. You don't get heart drops, and you can't get the heart pet to heal you. It's just you have 300 health, and that's what's carrying you for the next 15 minutes. And I can't tell you the amount of times and I can't tell you the amount of times that has screwed me. But
like the first time, the best thing for me was like the first time I unlocked him, I don't even go into like the runs and look at them. I was just like, I'm just gonna jump in and do a challenge. And then I spent 12 minutes trying to figure out why I wasn't getting any health items.
Did that same thing. I'm like, why can I not heal with this stupid character? And that's also when I realized too that, so not only as a character can I not do this, but because I am selecting this character, each weapon has a different, I guess, like bonus to it. Like I was saying with the knight, I know with the vine for the knight, when you equip that, it does plus 2 HP every time it activates.
But I think it's something else. Primary is so especially if you start a run without doing the challenges, it's whatever the weapon you choose to start with is. So like I usually try and have it so that if I'm doing it that way and I choose the blue lady, I try and start with the lightning bolt because I know that that's going to be the thing that later on in the game is going to be doing all of my kills, especially with chain lightning.
Yeah.
So that is when I'm getting the most bonus XP chance with her.
Well, and I caught up to the last Wii roguelike it that you guys were talking about. I think it was just you that got to level 100 using her.
Nope, that was Boston.
That was
I
Boston?
still haven't
Okay.
got that far yet.
I managed to do it with the knight, and that was just because I was on such a killing spree that all I had to do was walk, and it was just experience coming in, and I had that cauldron pet maxed out. So like it was real close, but I did manage to get to level 100 with that, and that was all right. It was fine. So
that's the thing. I need to do at some point, but right now I'm just anytime I play it, I'm just kicking it up, looking at that list, and I am just focusing down on whatever I need to do at any given moment.
Yeah.
You have anything else for Spirit Hunters?
No, not really. It's been fun, but yeah, I need to take a break because it's a lot.
It is. I will say though, again, thank you very much, friend of the show, Rob, community member, listener, for like throwing this. He just tossed this up as like a suggestion for We Roguelike It for me and Boston to do, and we picked it, we did it, and turns out it is actually a very good decision that we did it. So thank you again to Rob for actually recommending this to us. It's actually a very good thing.
Yeah.
Also, a quick note here from the developers that have been commenting on our YouTube video saying that there's a fun update coming out in a little bit. So if you haven't started Spirit Hunters, you should do that. It's really good.
Do you have anything to add, Boston?
No, I haven't played it this week because I was out of town, but definitely one of those games I'm kind of thinking about all the time where it's like, I could do a run or two. Yeah, maybe a little. But then one or two runs always turns into like
7 or 8.
I do a run and then I switch laundry and then I do another run and then I make lunch and then next thing I know I've been kind of playing it on and off all day. So
yep,
that's the problem. Is I have the on, but I don't have any of the off. So it's like I have to shut it off.
All gas, baby.
So other than that, let's hit the next game in my list. Don't bother with the video, Boston, please. Marvel Snap. It's the last week of the season. I'm already rank 100. I'm just doing Conquest mode. I need like 3 more matches, and I'll get my limited edition Conquest Midnight Suns Iron Man deck card, which is kind of cool. So I'll get that eventually at some point between now and Tuesday. It's Marvel Snap, whatever. All reliable, still treating me well. Not using any of the new cards
quantity.
Because apparently, no, exactly. There is a bunch of destruction challenges this cycle around, or discard challenges, I should say. So Modok is back in rotation for my challenges, and it's hilarious seeing people who haven't seen Modok in a while just suddenly not be able to deal with the deck I have because they don't know what is about to happen. It's great every single time. Okay, let's see. Dune Spice Wars. Don't worry about a video for this one, Boston. It's going to be short. Because I have a problem and I have to play for achievements. I'm playing for achievements on Dune Spice Wars. Not as bad as you think in this one. It's a very shrunk down 4X, which is fine by me.
If you're enjoying it, it's never as bad as you think.
That's true.
I am.
I see people drop like 2,000 hours and what was it, Stellaris or whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, no, this is great." And I'm like,
I certainly am not going to show you my
know
hour
what you're
count.
talking about.
Yep,
Yeah.
Nope. Not me for sure. Nope.
Yep. But no, it's fun. It's stupid, and now I'm trying to figure out how to defeat someone on insane difficulty because
oh goodness,
I'm that idiot. Because I want to do, as we talked about, I think it was while Limp was away. I got my first victory, and I did it without doing any research because I have to make things harder for myself.
Right.
So now I'm doing the other hardest thing in the game, which is to beat an insane opponent. And then I can do the rest of the stuff like, kill people on easy and assassinate people. I can do that stuff later. Right now, I just want to get the hard things out the way. It's very much like eating food. I eat I always have a small thing to the side, which is the nicest thing on the plate. I'll have a little bit of it, but save a little for the last, so that you have the nice thing to do at the end.
Your palate cleanser.
Exactly.
Right.
Or in this
Your
case,
little treat.
I want more cheesecake kind of thing.
Right.
So I'll get the hard stuff out the way so I can enjoy the easy stuff.
Yes. I'm worried you heard me say I would like more and not all the cheesecake.
That's right. That's right. How many cheesecakes do you have?
I am the Ron Swanson of cheesecakes, yes. That is me. Okay, let's see. I was on vacation, which means I played Breath of the Wild a lot. A whole bunch. And I am further in than I have ever been again, so that's good.
Okay.
I am 3 Divine Beasts down at this point. The only one I have to do now is the Goron one, I believe.
Okay.
Which I'm guessing is that giant chameleon that keeps climbing up the mountain.
Yep. Which looks really cool when you see it from a distance.
Yes, it really does. The only problem is I'm trying to buy the equipment from the Gerudo to help me resist heat so I can go to the mountain, but I don't have enough money to buy the equipment from the Gerudo to go to the mountain. So I need money, which means side quests, which means gathering a bunch of random stuff, cooking it into meals, and then maybe hopefully
go full Gordon Ramsay and just start opening your kitchen and selling food. And
that's right.
The problem is my memory is so short that like I will start making something, it'll be like, oh, that's great, and it's worth like 3,000 rupees. How did I make that again?
That's the great part about Tears of the Kingdom putting recipes in there, where it's like, here's a recipe card, pick it adds the things, you just cook it, you pick in the recipe card over and over again, because that first game very badly needed it.
Yes. So right now I'm just running around getting a bunch of shrines, doing a bunch of Korok seed finding.
Yep. Yeah.
Good timing, as that's what's happening there. I always freak myself out because I'll see one, I'll think, well, that's got to be a Korok seed. No, it's not. Or I'm not.
It's just a beehive. No.
One of the two. You know.
I like that they do put a couple of red herrings in there every once in a while, where it's like, oh, there's this rock on top of this tree that shouldn't be there, and you go and pick it up, and you're like, no, it's just a rock. There's nothing there.
This is a random rock.
But then the next one you do, there's a Korok seed, and it's like, come on.
Well, my favorite one
was
in the Gerudo Desert. There was a bunch of rocks blocking a doorway, and I was like, well, okay, so there's something behind this doorway. I've got to figure out exactly what it is. So I ended up climbing up the mountain because I was looking for something else. And right above it on the mountain edge is a metal rock. So I pushed that off the edge, and I was like, okay, well, what now? And then obviously it's metal, so you pick it up and you wiggle it around through the doorway to push the other rocks out the way, and you get in there. And it's just a bunch of chests. And I was like, really? No Korok seeds, just chests?
5 rupees, thanks.
Is capped out at every single second of the game anyway, so... Yeah. Not exactly useful, but sure, whatever, I guess. I'll just spend another 50 hours running around trying to find the stupidest stuff on the planet. I don't know. Breath of the Wild, it's still great. I've got to your point now, Boston, as well, where I'm just not riding a horse anywhere. I'm literally just running everywhere.
This horse controls like trash. I'm just going to run.
Same thing with the sequel.
Yep.
Plus, I also have the divine beast from the eagle people, which lets you do a charge jump where you just immediately go straight into the air, which is super useful when you're standing on top of the mountain and you're like, I want to go all the way over there. So you do that off the top of the mountain, problem solved.
Yeah, that's true.
Breath of the Wild is great. I actually can't wait to get to the Gorons because I've never been there, never been to Mount Doom or whatever it's called in this game. Is it Mount Doom? I can't remember.
Usually, I think.
Yeah.
But every time I think of Gorons, I can't help but think of the dance that the guy does in Ocarina of Time, which makes me think of the medley, and then I can't help but think of the medley instead. So it's the same thing every time. Whatever it is, I don't know. I like it. I'm looking forward to meeting some Gorons. Not a big fan of having to change my outfit every time I go into the Gerudo city, though, because I got a whole bunch of side quests in there, and having to get changed every single time to go in there is just so frustrating. But whatever.
That was the thing I was really hoping they'd change for Tears of the Kingdom, where you could set outfits, where it's like, I just want to switch to this outfit. It is these 3 pieces, and I'm switching outfits, and it's always like, no, I got to put on this hat and these pants and this shirt. You're always like switching, because in that one you have to be dressed as a woman in that town. Yeah.
I thought you didn't have to do that anymore once you completed the Guardian Beast for that area.
You'll have to do it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Even wearing the clothes designed for males, you still have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even wear their clothes designed for males.
Right.
Which is the heat resistant stuff. It's just not fully equipped enough for me
to
be
the next game.
Good with that. Yeah, maybe. There was something I was going to say about Gerudo Town, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Who knows? I do like the fact that they referenced Ganon once disguising himself as a Gerudo, which is a nice little call to Ocarina of Time, which I thought was really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. I'm hopefully going to beat that at some point soon. Okay, 3 games left. Here we go. Forza Horizon 5. I played this a lot before I left on vacation, and I'm going to not play it again now until this upcoming Thursday when a new season cycles in, because apparently there's a bunch of achievements related to doing everything in a season. And I don't mean... Right. Or I should say, everything in a series, not season. So series is 4 seasons. So you have to do everything in the full set of 4 seasons to get a bunch of achievements.
Thankfully, each one of those are usually pretty fun. Like, each individual event is usually a good time.
Yeah, and they usually don't even ask you to win. Normally, it's like, just take part in this.
Yeah,
like,
just compete,
Like, just do this, just do that.
Usually, worst case scenario is, like, just end up in the top 3 or top 5. But that's pretty rare.
No, the worst case scenario is that you have to drive all the way out to an area that you've never been to before.
Yeah.
You can't fast travel.
So, the good news is I finally have every single board in that game, and I can fast travel to anywhere because I bought the stupid house that's 3 million credits that lets you fast travel everywhere.
Oh, big spender.
So, hey, I still need like 6 more million credits to buy the other house I don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, of course, there's an achievement for buying every house in the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just did a bunch of fast travel stuff. I did every single PR stunt in the game and got 3 stars on every single one of them, except for the drift zones.
Ditto.
And it still wasn't enough to get the 256-star PR stunt achievement.
Oh, no.
How far off?
So I was like 10, so I just did like 5 or 6 drift zones, and it was fine.
Oh, that's
just like 2 stars. 2 stars, that'll do. I'm moving on to the next one.
You're only like
that'll do.
250.
Moving on to the next one. I forgot about the Eliminator.
Yeah. That's in there.
It's also an achievement to win one, by the way,
It
Boston.
sure is. That's why I didn't get that.
That's probably going to be the one achievement I walk away from this game without ever getting, because I played a lot of the Eliminator, which, for those of you who don't know, Nim's confused look made sure that
I don't remember.
This. The Eliminator is the Battle Royale mode that they have in the game.
Don't remember there being that mode in this game.
It's a cool mode.
It's
like,
really
it has
good.
some cool ideas. I just... I feel like it's like 90% of the way there. Like, there's still something missing that I think keeps it from greatness.
It is shocking how good it is, and how well realized the concept of a battle royale in cars is. Like, 30 cars drop onto an island, and then they all chase to a zone in the middle. Except on
everyone
the way,
racing to the good car over there.
Exactly. So instead of when you drop, instead of picking up like tires or whatever, you go to smoke, and then the smoke has cars, and then you can upgrade your car by collecting them at these smoke points.
Or sometimes it'll have a worse car than you start off with, and you're like, oh, good, I'm in trouble.
And then the other way you do it is, if you find somebody, you beep your horn at them, and that starts a race, a point-to-point race between you and the other person. If you win, you knock them out, and your car gets upgraded to the next level because it's like rank 1 through 10.
Oh, okay.
If you lose, you get knocked out, and then if you win, you can either switch cars with them or just take a 1-level upgrade. It is
my favorite thing
ridiculous.
In that game was just like, someone's coming near me, I can't let them close enough to me to honk to start that race. I need to go find a better car. So you're like cat and mousing through the jungle to be like, don't come close, don't come. Oh, now we started a race. All right, now we got to go like up and over this mountain and through the rivers to try and beat them on like, because it's a point race, and of course the GPS is gonna be like, take a right here. And it's like, no, they're just cutting through the jungle. I gotta go, man.
So yeah, it becomes a
battle royale thing at all. I remember playing a lot of the zombie mode a lot.
That's also good.
Yeah,
it is. It is shocking how good the Eliminator is. Like, it is really well thought out, really well executed, and it does the zone thing too, where like it's the whole map. You pick where you want to drop, quote unquote, and then it'll just start shrinking the zones. And then when you get to the final zone, because I came third once,
nice,
this close to a win. When you get to the final zone, it stops all of the head-to-head races, so you can't challenge anybody. And it's like, okay, in 10 seconds, the ring is going to vanish, and you have to go to it's a race from where you are now to wherever the hell we pick. And then it'll just pick a random point on the map, and it's a dead heat for everybody who's left. So then it's just every single person, 5 people barreling towards this one point on the map, which it's usually on the opposite side of the map too.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 or 6 people just trying to get there as quick as they can, and whoever wins. I was very annoyed because I was in a level 10 car, and basically where the final circle was, it was like a U shape. With basically a forest in the middle with like not enough points to drive through, or not enough gap in the trees to make it quickly and efficiently through. So I was on the left fork of this U, and everybody else was on the right fork of this U, and I was like, come on, be my side, be my side, my side. And then the circle vanishes, and it's like, go! And the flag's on the very far right-hand side of the map. And I'm in a street car, not an off-road car. So I have to do the flying across the desert, hoping that I'm not going to hit something in this like McLaren like F1 car.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, this is terrible.
Jeez.
Do you want to play it, Nimp? Hit me up, because I want to get that achievement.
Yeah, it's cool.
50
it's a cool
of your
mode.
best friends.
That's right. That's right.
50,
I won. Weird.
50 of the best community members on the internet. I'm just saying.
Hey, there you go.
We can start a convoy. We can get hit over at any point. But no, it's fun, and it's stupid. It still has that battle royale thing where your heart goes, and like you're speeding across the middle of Mexico, and you're like, "Don't George of the Jungle a tree. Don't George of the Jungle a tree. Just
That's right.
Just make it through." And then like you'll hit a jump, and then you will literally like thread the needle through this like 4 trees, and you'll just like go straight through the middle of you. Thank goodness I didn't hit that tree. Like,
you had just enough space to clear that, only to hit the Mayan ruins on the other side of those trees.
Exactly.
done that before, got myself eliminated from a race.
Yep.
Like, it was.
Man,
that
this
mode
game
is
so
really,
good.
really fun. Like, it's so good. Like, that's why I'm taking a break this week, because I'm enjoying playing it, but I don't want to burn myself out, and I want to get the seasonal achievements kind of thing. So even if I end up just missing the 1 achievement, pretty much the only thing I have left is the seasonal stuff, which is like, do all of the treasure hunting in an entire series. Do all of this in a series. Like, cool. It starts on Thursday. I'm just going to set a reminder to, as soon as I finish recording with this guy, I'm going to jump straight in and start doing a bunch of stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it's fun.
I might install it again. I cleared out a lot of space on my hard drive, so I got like 300 gigs available again.
I always have it installed because every once in a while my kid just wants to race around Mexico and like hit a bunch of cacti, and it's like, yeah, man, me too. I'll keep that installed.
I was gonna say, before we had Vampire Survivors, this was my shut my brain off and just go from point A to point B.
Yeah, absolutely.
and hit
And
every little road in between. So.
The game is still yelling at me as well for winning too easily, but at this point, like, I don't care. I'm in here to just hit the, like I said when we were recording, the one-handed play, right, middle finger on the throttle, left finger on the thumb, not paying attention. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. I'm enjoying it. Forza Horizon 5 is still a banger of a Forza game. Okay, 2 games left. Which one do I talk about first? I'll talk about this one and then that one last. Okay. So as you may realize, I have been on vacation. So I'm feeling ill physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. I'm just not feeling well.
Yep.
So I needed a
Picked
remedy.
up a Souls game.
Oh no.
It's not what you think, Boston.
Let's lean in.
It's not what you
I
think.
need a remedy.
Mhm.
It's not what you think, though. That comes later.
Okay.
That's when I realized that I didn't remember a single thing about Alan Wake.
Hey, ditto.
Oh, and the remaster's on Game Pass.
Oh,
That's
how
also-
convenient.
When I
Or not yet.
realized that I bought the remaster, like, on sale for $6 at some point.
Yeah.
So I installed and started playing Alan Wake Remastered.
Nice.
I like it.
Yo, Remedy are really good at making games, yo. Like, I don't know if anybody
I
knew
don't know if
that.
y'all have heard this.
Yeah. The small up and coming studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, small up and coming studio. I'm a Remedy fanboy. Hands in the air, you are not going to get objective opinions from me. I love
Sure.
Remedy games. It also helps that Remedy games always have my favorite band in them too. Again,
True.
no objective like things here. Alan Wake is still terrifying. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. I'm only at like maybe an hour into episode 2. Still have no clue what's going on. I know I stayed in the wrong cabin, which could be the start to any number of horror films.
Yeah. That's why I didn't get when everyone was like, Alan Wake wasn't really a horror game, but the second one is. And I'm like, I remember distinctly in a couple parts of the first game being a little terrified on what was happening.
Yeah.
It's
it
the
was a pretty
Pacific
spooky
Northwest in the middle of the forest. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Game. Yeah.
Especially when you're playing on like the hardest difficulty.
Uh-huh. I'm playing on
Yeah.
normal. I still have to do a second playthrough on Nightmare to get those stupid thermoses, because of
Oh.
course.
That's right.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm just literally, I was like, you know what? It's been a long time. I haven't played it in years. I've never played the DLC, and the DLC is
Yeah.
included in the remastered version. I have it. I might as well install it and play it, because at this point I've spent too much money on quote unquote remasters and never played them.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you
I
ever
still
play
have-
American Nightmare?
I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
check
play
that
that
out too.
I never played either.
It was a cool crafting game.
Oh, interesting.
So I have the entire Arkham series. I have purchased. I've never installed anything past the first one, I think. I got the full gamer score on the remaster of that one for fun. Also, I have a problem. But I haven't done it with the rest of the sequels. I have the BioShock Remastered trilogy bought, waiting to play. I have Watch Dogs 2 and Legion bought and ready to play. I
Two
have
is so good.
Boston's Breath of the Wild, like Star and the Roman Gods
Oh,
thing.
the one with the impossible name. Oh, that one's so good too.
Yeah, I have that, which I have bought and never played, because I buy these things on sale and then I never play them. They're not installed, so don't come at me about my hard drive space. That's not the reason why.
That's a separate problem. Thank you.
Yes. And like I have all of these things, and it's just like, you know what? Part of the whole discussion we had a couple of weeks ago is like, at this point, I don't care about 2023 games. And then Alan Wake 2 drops, and everybody won't shut up about it being one of the best things since sliced bread. So I'm like, I guess I'm playing Alan Wake 1 again, just so I can, get there and eventually enjoy the story. Because I also bought Control Ultimate Edition on sale at some point and didn't play it.
Dude, Control will be easy though because they have a lot of the quality of life stuff.
Achievements.
Well, it doesn't have missable achievement. They added a lot of quality of life stuff.
Oh, thank you, Farrah.
Boston has apparently lost his microphone at some point during this whole process, which is hilarious.
Right. Right. Right.
And this is a game that, like, I love the lighting tech on it. I love the stupid concept of it. The whole nature of the light getting rid of the darkness, and then the darkness, welcoming people in so you can take care of them after the darkness is taken care of.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is fantastic. Like, I love that as a concept. Because I have played it before, I have already seen one of the flicker frames of somebody who's not mentioned until the very end of the game, we'll say.
I've been thinking of doing the remake as well, but
I picked it up for like literally like $6 on sale.
Well,
okay.
Mine is I am at that same point, like you just said, where I have I've got 3 JRPGs sitting right there that I haven't started because I don't have time. Right,
that's 500 hours of RPG.
There. My Siren Song is constantly back there, but there's other things that I want to check out. Like there's 2 things I want to talk about today that just I happen to push up front because I have time and it's interesting and it's topical. But yeah. I want to play Alan Wake 2. I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. There's just this thing called work that keeps getting in the way of me playing these.
Oh yeah, and this is also me like trying to make better financial decisions for myself because something I'd like to do at some point is just sit down and because I don't know if it's just me, but I get very nostalgic for games of a certain era and a certain period. I'm unsure if they hold up as much as I believe they do in my head. I doubt when I eventually play them that the BioShock 1 remake is going to be anywhere near as good as I remember it.
It's still pretty decent, though.
I'm hoping the BioShock 2 remake is just as good as I remember it.
Right.
It's like this thing of why have I bought all of these games? And every single one I listed above, I own 2 copies of The Witcher 3, by the way. The regular edition and the game.
I was going to say, did you buy the regular and then the Ultimate came on sale and you're like, well, that comes with everything?
Didn't even know I already owned the first one. I because the stores are so obfuscated now that it's like, oh, this edition comes with the game, this and this. And when you go into it, it doesn't say that you already own the game. It just says that's what comes with it. Some of them do, most of them don't. So it's like, I bought 3 games at least twice because it's like, oh, it's on sale for $7. I always wanted to do this, and then I buy it, and then I've already bought it in a different thing, or not in a bundle.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, I also have the Crash trilogy to play, wow. The Spyro trilogy to play.
One, yeah.
CTR, the best kart racing game that ever existed, to play.
Like, yeah.
All of these things are things that I bought for like $4 on sale, and it's just like, oh no, like every single one of the ones I just mentioned is anywhere between 8 to 800 hours. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's a little ridiculous, but it's one of the things I want to try and play more of the stuff I buy, so therefore saving myself money, and also trying to figure out, is the thing as good as it used to be? And Alan Wake is janky. Like, the controls are rough in places. He can't sprint more than like 4 yards without being exhausted.
Yeah.
Dude, he's not a triathlete, okay?
I know,
Give
he's a
the man
writer.
a break.
Based on the manuscript pages, which I'm actually reading this time, or listening to, as the case may be, Alan Wake is not a good writer either. That is the best thing about this, is he's not even that good of a writer.
No.
No, this is popcorn novel.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I love him, but he's the Sean Hudson of the Pacific Northwest.
There you go.
For those of you who don't know, Sean Hudson is an author from Liverpool, England, who also happens to be a perfectly average writer. I just got into him a lot when I was a kid, so like he's always stuck in my head. He literally writes popcorn novels, essentially, and his big passion is cinema as well. So he talks in all of his intros how he goes to the cinema, and the people at the local cinema know him by name. Is like, a man after my own heart. He likes to write, he writes crap, and he likes to go to the cinema.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I will probably regret my achievement nature when it comes to playing through the thing on Nightmare mode, because there
I
are
remember Nightmare
only
being rough.
there's certain collectibles that only appear in Nightmare mode. So that means Nightmare mode has to be played. And you can't play Nightmare mode until you beat it on normal mode. So I can't even do a one and done kind of thing.
And there's not even anything. There's like no equipment or anything to bring over. You're just bringing over your manuscripts and I think your thermos count.
Collectibles are on the save file.
Yeah.
But through episodes, it doesn't even keep your inventory. I ended the episode 1 with the shotgun, the flare gun, all kinds of funky stuff in my pockets. And episode 2 starts and it's like, congratulations, you have a revolver and 6 bullets. It's like, really?
Yep. And here's a battery for your mag light.
Hey, at least it's not Energizer batteries this time.
Yes.
Because nothing I like more than a sponsorship gone wrong. I wish I could remember which Splinter Cell it was, but there was a Splinter Cell that in the UK, he ate gum before he jumped off a plane, and it was Airwaves brand of gum. Which it wasn't the same in America. It was a different thing in America.
I don't know what it was in America.
I don't remember.
But it was very clearly like, hey, I like these Airwaves.
Good every
and then
time.
He jumps off a plane.
Yeah, I remember getting the flashlight upgrades in Alan Wake and being more excited about the flashlights than I was about the weapons that I was getting.
Yeah.
The lights in that game are great. Like, they have such a really solid level design. Like, and keep in mind, everybody, this is before like ray tracing and everything else that exists these days. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about Alan Wake 2, is if it has this kind of sequence in it again, like where it's the forest or whatever and you have a flashlight, if it is ray tracing capable, I would love to see it.
Oh,
because I've
for
seen
sure.
what ray tracing does in Grounded. I'd love to see what they do in Alan Wake for
and
the same
ray
thing.
tracing was great in Control too, the studio's other work. So
it was so great, it broke most everything.
Yep. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. But I will play Alan Wake 1. If I make it to 2 before the end of the year, great. If I don't, whatever. It happens. My final game this week. I'm going to throw out a bunch of names of games.
Okay.
Don't pull up videos for it. 3 games specifically. Hey, Boston. Yeah, we're all of the same age group here. Maybe not the listeners, but we're all of the same age group. How do you feel about the humor of the Worms games?
A long time been a fan.
Okay. Nimb?
I enjoy them, yes.
Okay. And how do you feel about the rhythm-based mechanics of like a Rhythm Heaven kind of game, where like you get
now
a
we're
level
talking,
and you've got to do like a rhythm-based thing?
Okay.
You're playing like a Worms DDR game.
And how do you feel about Fall Guys, the smooshy man running through a course game?
Okay. Interesting.
So I have to introduce you to a little game called Headbangers.
Okay, I have seen this. A lot of people saying recently, like, I checked this out, and it's actually pretty good.
It is ridiculously fun. So, for those who don't know, this is a game made by Team 17, the creators of Worms.
Headbangers is Rhythm Royale.
There you go. Thank you for the full title. It's made by Team 17, who made Worms. It's a battle royale game, except a lot of the mini games that take place that eliminate people are rhythm based, and it has a lot of the worm voices too. So you play as pigeons. Wish I was kidding. It's pigeons. They are questionably shaped pigeons. I will phrase it for the PG nature of the show.
Okay.
They're pretty pear shaped, yeah.
Yes. One of the outfits is an eggplant, if that gives you an idea of exactly what they're going for.
Gotcha.
So a pigeon dressed as an eggplant is an option. And basically it is just frequently rhythm-based games that you play, and then the people who score the lowest, they get eliminated. And it's, so far, I think it's like 25, maybe 30 different games so far.
It's like a combination of Jackbox, Fall Guys, and Rhythm Heaven? WarioWare? Kind of?
Yes. WarioWare was another game that popped into my head. But it does this thing where, like, during the loading screens and during the actual missions itself, the pigeons have voices, but it's the worms' voices.
Okay, so that, like, real high-pitched, almost gibberish.
So one of the taunts you can get is the Arrivederci from Worms, except it's Arrivederci and all of that kind of usual stuff. And I've always loved Worms because Worms was one of those games that had a Scouse accent in it when Scouse was not popular. So it's always hilarious hearing like my accent come from these stupid worms. So yeah, the game is a rhythm-based game, and you have to do the things. The one you have on video right now is basically a classical piece of music that you have to do the rhythm to. But it's 3 different notes, low, medium, and high. And depending on what the face is the button that you have to press and or hold. And you get scored based on how well you are performing it. When you press the button, the pigeon goes bah, bah, bah.
That like slightly auto-tuned kind of weirdness.
Yes.
Yeah.
For every minigame, there's a fitness minigame where it's follow the leader, and there's a gym, like some guy running the gym instructor at the front of the group, and he'll like bend his head up and down, and it'll be like, okay, up for like 2 seconds, then middle, wait a beat, and then down. And then it holds down for 3 seconds, and then you have to let go. Except every time you move your head, it does the noises. And like if you spin your head in a circle, it does the whole thing.
That's great. I love it.
And like in the middle of the mini games, you can get like items, and the items will it will give you the answers, or it will it will cause distractions, and then like a pigeon in a ballerina outfit will run across the foreground of everybody's screen, and it will do like dancing across the screen, blocking what everybody else can see. So all you can see or hear is the background thing that's going on. I don't think I've had this much fun in a battle royale in a long time, and also it's incredibly frustrating too, because I'm old, and my reactions are not what they were in my Guitar Hero days, in my Rock Band days. They have slipped significantly, I should say. And maybe I can get better by practicing. Maybe I shouldn't be playing it at like 11:30 at night when I'm exhausted from work and everything else that's going on at the same time. Maybe the better time would be to play it earlier. But it is just stupid and fun, and I'm enjoying playing it and unlocking new outfits. I now have a cat outfit for my pigeon.
That's fun.
So my pigeon is dressed like a cat. But it has the usual trappings. It has an XP bar that you fill up, and you get a bunch of outfits, a bunch of new sounds. The pigeons can taunt, which goes exactly how you think it would be, which is a wibbly head that says something in a worm's voice.
Okay.
A bunch of different outfits. While you're playing the mini games, there'll be item boxes that you can grab, but you have to be paying attention to the item boxes and the mini games all at the same time. There's a little counter in the bottom corner, which is the bonus round counter. So if everybody spins their heads around when that is active, you unlock a bonus round, which can be anything from rotating the stick to like hitting the A button as fast as you can. Let me tell you, my track and field days are long behind me as well, based on those mini games. But it's just been stupid and dumb and fun. I'm never going to get every achievement in it because one of the achievements is to win like 100 times. Ain't happening. Goodness. Thank you very much. But it's, I don't know. It's just been fun to just sit there and not have to think. And again, not have to think too much and just try and get into the rhythm. Half beats are killing me every single time I play at one of these games. Like if there's something, there is Run Pigeon Run, which is a side-scrolling pigeon running across the map, and then you have a top button and a bottom button, and you have to press the button in time with the beat to destroy whatever it is, if it's top or bottom or both at the same time. Every time it's a half beat, it will get me every single time.
Yep.
Like 2 in a row, like beat, I'm fine with. But if it's beat, I'm done. Half beat kills me every single time, and I don't know if it's just because my musical bones have left me. Here is the stick spinning, head spinning mini game is on the screen right now. I actually won one of those, which I'm really proud of, with a 56 head spins. I summoned my Mario Party N64 demons and hurt the palm of my hand in doing it, but I still did it.
The classics.
That callus back, yeah.
Right.
100%. It was just like, I don't know if I should be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care if it's a new controller. It's, I don't know. It's fun, stupid. This is a game I have not played, thanks, Boston. I have not played the Perfect Shot minigame yet, because I've played a lot, and some of them are really funny because you get like the same game can appear in the first round and the final round, but the final round is a one mistake and you're out, whereas the first round is like you get 3 lives. You know, you can spend some time doing that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's fun.
It looks incredibly fun.
It is so charming. Like, it's got all of the best dumb stuff. One of the mini games is called Garden Party, and it's like a DJ in a garden playing for all of these pigeons that are in the garden, and he'll play like 3 or 4 bars from a random song. And as I was playing it, I was like, wait, is that Phantom of the Opera? Did they seriously just hit me with like the opening bars from Phantom of the Opera? Yes, is the answer. They totally did.
That's great.
And guess what? It's a 30-person game, and it when you join in, if people drop out or whatever happens before the game actually starts, it'll just load in a bunch of bot pigeons, and it does the worms thing of calling them funny bot names.
Yeah.
Like Pablo Estobot or whatever the case may be.
Oh, that's great.
And they have their own special little outfit where they look like little robot pigeons, so you know who in the view is a bot pigeon.
Oh, that's clever.
I was like, wait, why is there a robot pigeon? And then I realized what was happening. It's like, it's a bot pigeon. I get it now.
I love it.
It also fits in with the government memes of birds aren't real, they're government spy entity.
That's right.
Like, it's worth a shot. Like, I put maybe like 3 or 4 hours into the game so far, and every time I load it up, I've had fun. There'll be times, as there always is, there'll be times when you're playing something and For me, it's the age thing, and I know it's the age thing. I know it's because I'm not as quick or as like able to do things. Again, could be the time of night, could be any one of another things, but I'm just going to say it's the age thing. It's that thing of like you see the rhythm, but then your hands don't perform the rhythm adequately,
Right.
and you lose a life or you lose a point or whatever, and it's that thing where you know you could do better, but you just didn't in this instance.
Yep.
So there's been a couple of frustrating moments like that. I've never played this Minecraft game that's happening as well, or Minecraft game. I've never done this one either, which is great. I don't know. Give it a shot. It's worth your time. Obviously, most people are not freaks like me who enjoy the achievement hunt. So, again, it's a battle royale. As soon as I start a battle royale, I know to myself I'm never going to get every achievement in it because I'm not going to put that much time into it.
Exactly.
The only one I've ever done it with was Rumbleverse. And that's because the achievements were sane, were normal, designed for regular people.
And the game
Thank
was
you,
being
Dave
discontinued. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even before that, they were still sane. I don't know. It's fun. It's stupid. Give it a shot. That's all I've been playing. Nim, take it away. Stop me from talking, please. It's been an hour.
All right, so continuing on with Old Man and button prompts not being your friend probably anymore, I played Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, okay.
Is that the expansion / unofficial sequel, not Spider-Man 2?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think this was originally supposed to be DLC, and they just released it as its own game. Because I played a bunch of Spirit Hunters this week, I figured out that I needed to diversify my portfolio for this weekend, so I quickly popped this in. My son actually bought this. He just platinumed it. He's been playing it for like 2 weeks now, and just platinumed it Friday, so then he dropped it off to me. So I've picked it up now. And I have not played. I did platinum the first one. Go ahead.
Yep.
That Spider-Man was drinking coffee upside down, and it freaked me out.
That was a weird piece of animation, man.
So the best part about that is, in that specific scene, Miles even asks him, "How are you doing that?" And Peter's like, "Very carefully." And later on, I'm only like 3 main missions into the game, and later on there's a cutscene where Miles tries to do it himself and completely screws it up and almost like drowns himself doing it. So
Okay.
So yes, I did play the first one. I did platinum it, and I really enjoyed it. And this, from what I can remember, the gameplay feels exactly like the first one. It is fun to web sling. It is fun to move around and do stuff. The combat is still very heavily Batman inspired. I'm trying to think where the story right now is picking up right after the events of the first game. The whole point of this is that Peter is going off with Mary Jane to Europe. So it's just Miles in New York.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so
He's going to sub in.
Yes. This is supposed to take place during and sometime after Christmas, because during this thing, I think it's like a couple days before Christmas, when you start actually really playing as Miles, it's like December 24th or something like that. Like I said, I'm not very far into it, but because we've been to New York recently, my son and I were goofing around and trying to remember how much of New York I remembered.
Oh, sure.
And that is when I realized that the map that they have for New York is upside down.
Oh.
And I pulled up an actual map to double check it, because we were at I was in Central Park, and in my mind it was like, okay, Central Park was in mid to lower, mostly mid New York, Manhattan, and I pull up the map and it shows it being all the way at the top.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that is not, I don't remember that being correct when I was walking around New York. And sure enough, yeah, they basically just have the perspective flipped for some reason, and I don't know why. So what's north in the map is actually south in the real world. Does it really matter?
Or do you?
They. I have it correct. So it doesn't really matter, except for when you're doing stuff like I was doing, because I was trying to hit up, okay, the locations that we actually hit when we went to New York. Spoilers, it was all Parasite Eve locations. So we obviously found Central Park. So then I was like, okay, where's the Natural History Museum? Didn't find that yet. But then I'm looking at the map and I'm like, okay, these two areas, this must be Times Square. So I go over there, find Times Square. I'm like, all right, cool. And my son was like, okay, where's like the Lego store that we went to? I'm like, okay, we went up 1 block from Times Square, and then we went 3 blocks east from Times Square, and that brought us to the Rockefeller Ice Rink Center. So I follow those directions in my mind on this map, web sling over there. Yep, there's the Rockefeller Center right there with the ice rink and everything. We go down this one street, which in real life is closed, and they've got like chairs and stuff and tables for you to sit at. But in the game, it's still an open street, and there's what would have been the Lego store. The Nintendo store. Obviously, it's not in this game.
It's a Sony store, am I right?
Well, it's not even anything. It's just a store. So then we started web slinging some more. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's find Grand Central Station. Found that, and I'm like, all right. As I found out while being there, the Chrysler Building is like right there next to it. The Chrysler Building doesn't exist in this game.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't know why. Whatever. But Empire State Building's right there. That's obviously part of the skyline, so that's noticeable. And it's all set up with Christmas stuff too. So it's got the Christmas lighting at the top as well. So we just. It kind of got to the point where I was just web slinging and my son was just watching.
You're just sightseeing.
We were basically reliving the vacation that we took a couple weeks ago of, hey, we went here and this is what should be here and, this, that, and the other thing. And he's also comparing it because as a kid, he played, the Marvel Lego games all the time, which take place in New York. And he played a Spider-Man a lot in that as well. So he's, comparing it to those maps and, we're finding the differences between them and all that. So it's been pretty fun so far. And I haven't even really played the game. It's just been mostly just screwing around. So I will be playing more of that. It is a shorter game. I think just the story was like 15 hours. And everyone was saying if you're going to platinum it, it was like 20, 25 hours altogether. That's not bad at all. So yeah, it's not horrific. And eventually, I'm not even going to try to, but eventually I will pick up Spider-Man 2. Because the first one was great. So far, this is great. I have only heard great things about the second game so far, which kind of just seemed like a known quantity that this is going to be a good game if you liked the first ones. So. Eventually, I will get into that. But yeah, I will talk about that more next time when I have more time with it. The next game that I played, which is going to be real short, when I bought Spirit Hunters, because it all comes back to this, there was another Bullet Heaven game that was on the PlayStation, and it's called what do they call it? Remedium Sentinels. Sentinels. So this thing was like $5 on PlayStation. It's also on Steam and Epic, I believe, as well, and it is also a Bullet Heaven game. This looks like a PS1 game. You are playing, or you control a mech basically, and it's the same exact Bullet Heaven thing. Each mech has its own specific weapon that it starts with. You can start to pick up other weapons as you level up and kill things, and you can upgrade the mech itself, and you can globally upgrade everything else with it.
Oh, okay.
So you've got that going for you. Like I said, it looks like a PS1 game.
It has that very distinctive style.
Yes, which I actually thought was kind of funny. So it was $5. It was fun for a $5.
Right.
What little bit I've played enough that I've unlocked, because you only start out with one level that you can unlock. You have to beat all of the, I think they call it like contagions. Once you've beaten 100% of the contagions in that level, it unlocks the next level. And it also unlocks the next mech that you can choose. And they all have different starting weapons that you can choose from. That's as far as I got. Apparently this is tied to another game called Remedium. Just that. It's a game that's in early access right now on Steam, Epic, and PlayStation. Or it's supposed to be coming to PlayStation. I don't know if it's available for like a demo or anything on that. But that game is supposed to be a twin-stick shooter. And this game is supposed to tie into that. Like, it's the same universe type thing. but I'd
Interesting.
never heard of the. I don't even know how I came across this game. Um, so I didn't even hear of the other what's supposed to be the main game. But I've played a little bit of this, and I'm like, yeah, this plays like a bullet heaven game. I'm enjoying it, and I will come back to it later because I'm about to get burnt out on these games as much as I'm enjoying them.
Yeah, that's Remedium Sentinels.
Yes.
Yeah.
My last game, because these are all going to be kind of short, is I played CyberPunk 2077 PS5 version. Good news, there
All right.
haven't been any issues so far.
That's great.
Did either one of you guys play it at all?
No, I bought it for, when they had those sales. They're like,
Yeah.
It's Cyberpunk for $7, a disc version for PS5. It's totally broken. I was like, yeah, I should probably do that but I've never played it because I was always waiting to see if they were going to do this.
What they did.
Yeah, but now that they've done it, everybody's like, hey, it's actually really great. And I'm like, well, now I actually need to play this.
Okay.
Bummer.
I have it on my wish list.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not going to ruin anything story-wise. I did eventually beat it, but right now where I'm at is you starting out, you are building up to pull off this one main mission. Okay. And I am at the point where I am trying to get the flathead unit that I need to continue on with this mission. Doesn't mean anything to you guys, but people who have played will know exactly where I'm at. It's still fairly early. Like I just got to the point where I can drive around Night City, but until I complete this main story mission, not a whole lot is open to you yet.
Oh, okay.
There are still, it's not like completely dead. There are still things you can find. There are still things that you can do.
But you have your intro tutorial zone kind of? Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I remember, until you complete this quest line for the main mission, not everything is opened up to you just yet.
Sure.
Which is fine. That gave me time to drive around. It gave me time to kind of mess around with the physics. Gave me a lot of time to shoot a lot of random people.
Right.
Because there's not a morality system in this game.
All the usual open world stuff.
Yeah, it's like we already talked about how broken my moral compass is.
Right.
I have not come across anything weird.
That's good.
So at this point, besides the original issues that I had pointed out when I first started and the game broke, so far it seems fine.
Right.
I did completely forget that they had children in this game.
Oh, okay.
Because there's been a couple times where I've walked around and there was just like, it's still, that part's still broken. There's a couple times where you will walk around and there will be extremely short humans walking around.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, and they didn't make children, I guess, maps, designs, whatever.
Yeah, like
they
character models.
Yeah, they took fully grown adult designs and just shrunk them down height-wise. Yep. So you're really looking at like a bunch of little people.
You're looking at like Frank from accounting as like 3 feet tall.
Yeah. And I completely forgot about that until I was walking around and saw somebody in Chinatown, and I was like, what is going on? And he's like, oh yes, okay, I do remember this being a thing. Okay, everything's fine.
Gosh.
So yeah, just remembering that was so stupid. But yeah, I am back to enjoying this game, and like I said, I've always enjoyed this game, but I always felt like I had to fight this game to enjoy it.
Right.
So we will see if that continues. The story, since I've already played it, I'm kind of skipping a bunch of stuff right now because I'm at the beginning. Replaying it is super slow, so it's like no, I'm gonna get to the point where I can crow myself out and get like my death, strings in my wrists and this, that, and the other thing that I'm missing. So
right.
I'm going to continue playing more of it, and I'm going to see what happens. But so far, I am impressed that the game does the minimum basic of working.
There you go. we're making it.
Yes. So hopefully next time I talk about this game, I will have more good things to talk about. But so far I think I'm 4 hours in, it's a lot more stable and better than it was when I played it a couple years ago. So
Nice.
You may not, if you have already bought it and you've been waiting, yeah, now is probably the time to check it out. If you have not bought this game yet, I would still say wait until it's deeply on discount.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I played this week because it was pretty much just all Spirit Hunters this week.
Yeah.
So.
Go play Spirit Hunters.
Yeah.
I was out of town this week, but before we left, found some time to, of course, play more Suika game. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, this is the runaway hit Switch game that is only $2 and is a fruit matching game. If you are listening to this and you have a Switch, you should probably go buy it and play it because it's good. It has just still continued to take over this house of like, we got a little bit of time. Let's play a little Suika game. Why not?
Yeah, those seem to be the best games right now.
Yep.
It'll only take you 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, still loving Suika game. Obviously not a lot to talk about at this point. I think it got a patch this week. I genuinely have no idea what changed, which is probably a good sign. But Suika game continues to be great.
You said that they did or they were going to drop an English patch the last time
it's already out.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I'd say probably like half to 75% of the UI is in English now, and a lot of the rest of it is like, oh, that's all-time leaderboards, I can figure that out, or oh, this is like deep in the settings menu, I don't need to know what that says in English. So, and maybe with that patch, it's now totally in English. I'm not sure, but it's still great. Go play Suika game. It's good. Last game I have this week, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I finished chapter 4 and I'm almost done with chapter 5. I was sort of pushing to get to that point so I could get into the management minigame. I have my 4th party member now. Actually, I have 5 party members, so now I can switch. Party has a maximum of 4 people. I have 5 people in my total roster. The last person I got, or the 4th party member I got, is just like a normal business lady that hits people with their purse, which is really great. She's super great. So like, yay, Yakuza. I can now change jobs. So I have a full list of jobs. I think at the beginning of the game, I think each party member can do 3 or 4 different jobs. And it seems like they're kind of specific to that individual party member. I haven't really changed them yet because I'm at the point in the beginning of the game where I have enough money to buy really good weapons for my party members, but if I was to switch their job, their stats are going to go down because they're going to be at the beginning of that job, like level 1 of that job.
Oh, is this like a full-on job system?
That's the thing I don't know
Okay.
yet. So, like, my worry is their stats are going to go down because they're going to go start a new job, and they'll be at, like, go from level 15 of this job to level 1 of this job. And the menu shows that my stats are going to go down quite a bit, but I can't, if I have to switch weapons, I can't afford to switch weapons right now. So that's why I'm not changing. Because, you know, that snowball is always like, oh, I can't use this weapon anymore because I'm not this. Oh, I have to go buy this one. And like,
your mage can't use the bat that you were using, but
exactly.
also only has level 1 fire. So.
Right. Like, and I only have like 50,000 yen on me, and the weapons I would need to buy are like 250,000 yen. So like I'm not even anywhere close to affording. So I just got to keep playing and keep waiting. The majority of the time I spent this week was definitely in the management game, which is you running businesses around town and improving them and trying to get them up to profitability and hiring people and managing them and raising their stats and stuff like that. That stuff is mostly like spreadsheet management until you get to this action-packed stakeholders meeting, where if you're watching the video version, that's what's on screen right now, where you're trying to appease your stakeholders by sending your staff at them kind of consistently to try and manage how angry they are or happy they are about your business. And it's just one of those wild Yakuza things where you see a screen that's filled with so many bars and buttons and numbers and labels and all that stuff, and they do an okay job teaching you how to play this. But then after your first or second one, you're just like, perfect. Yes, I know how to do this. I know how to manipulate these stockholders. I know how to do this. I know when to use the apology move where I jump out from behind the table and I bow all the way down on my hands and knees, and it just says on the screen in that Yakuza font, "We are very sorry," and then everybody's happy, and then we win. It's really great, and it's the interesting thing about this one compared to some of the other ones is it's certainly not the most complicated one I've played. The Hostess Club one was probably the most complicated because you had an entire business you were running all at once, and each one of the women working there were holding up hand signals that you had to remember what it means to get them the right thing to make them and the clients happy. It was a lot. Like, you eventually got there, but it was a lot. And this one is much more manageable, but the person who's financing your company has given you a deadline to meet certain goals. So it's not super stressful, but you have very specific goals of, I need to get this rank within this many kind of business periods. So I kind of have to continually keep growing it every time I'm in there, which makes it a little bit better as opposed to like, yeah, just come in here and do whatever you want, man. It's all good. So that having that need for forward momentum helps me a whole lot to kind of get in there and push and play it a bunch. So story-wise,
that random chicken.
That's really great. Calling back to Yakuza 0. Unfortunately, that isn't Nugget. I don't remember what his name is, but he also has a really good name.
Well, heck, at that point, that thing would have had to be, what, 30 years old?
Yeah, 30 or 40 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like 2018 in Like a Dragon, I think.
Okay.
So it's really good mode, and it manages to strike that balance of kind of being relaxing where you're looking at these spreadsheets and you're managing your staff, and then that really crazy shareholders meeting. Storyline wise and the rest of the game, still going really well. There's the mystery kind of continues to ramp up. You're kind of accidentally roping a bunch of people into your little crew of homeless and broke people, and it's just really yeah, like it's just really great. I still really like Kasuga, the main character. He continues to be super cool in a way that we'll talk about it in releases, but I'm interested to see how they're going to kind of resolve him and Kiryu working together, because that seems to be where the series is going, at least in some minor fashion. But yeah, I'm kind of in the part of a Yakuza game right now where you're just kind of continuing to do what you've been doing, and you're just kind of, the story is unfolding and you're solving mysteries and getting a whole bunch of stuff, and it's good. You're just kind of like, I don't know how to say it. You're like not in the doldrums of it, but you're just kind of, you're in the thick of the game in a really great way. So that's Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Boy, I had like 3 different recordings totally stop recording in the middle of that. This is gonna be a great edit.
Nice.
Yay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Have fun, Boston.
Yeah, we're not going to do our news story this week because I don't want to have more stuff to edit. We'll talk about that as it potentially unfolds. Also, I don't want to talk too much about the industry anyway, because I'm over capitalism. Yay.
Yeah, the news story this week is not a great one, we'll say.
No.
On a personal note, are you happy, sad, disappointed? Like, what are your thoughts on it for the patrons?
I'm really angry. So for patrons and video viewers here, the news story this week was that 8% of Bungie employees, 100 employees, got laid off this week. I am really pissed off that the employees had to take the fall for upper management mismanagement. The fact that the story that's coming out is that the financial estimates that were missed by 45%. That's not...
How big is that fucking financial estimate, dude?
Right, like...
This is fucking Hitman causing problems. This is Tomb Raider not selling past expectations.
Like, it pisses me off so much because the people that are in the trenches doing the work, you know, developers and QA and art and like the community management team just got gutted. Those aren't the people that are responsible for
the direction of the fucking company.
Yeah, like the direction of the company and also like the direction of high level stuff, because everybody, including me, was so disappointed and burnt out by Lightfall that our raid group doesn't raid anymore. It's like we don't have 6 people that play anymore. Like, I didn't finish this event, the Halloween event that was just going on, because I don't want to play Destiny anymore. So like, Destiny's in such a bad spot, but you can't just fire like your lowest level employees or like your working employees just because you made a financial blunder. Like, it's just...
I mean, the community members fucking kill me for that one, because it's like, the only reason you exist is because of your community, which is supported you through thick and fucking thin, and you're laying off the community team? Like, what the fuck?
That's so short-sighted. Like, it's just... It's so frustrating. And then, like, apparently some of the upper management gave up their bonuses, which is a great first start. But, like, you should also be losing jobs, and you should also be not taking a paycheck home to save the jobs of 100 people that are working on the game that you say you want to be best in class. So, like,
the people that you just laid off got fired because they followed your direction.
Exactly.
So it's like, why are you still in this company if the company is hurting that bad?
And then to make it worse, like, the Pete Parsons, the Bungie CEO, put out a tweet of just like, you know, it was a really hard decision, and, you know, everybody feels really badly about it. It's like, no, you made that decision. Like, you did.
I saw a bunch of people saying, hey, why do you get to keep your fucking job when everybody else fucking suffers for your decisions?
Why do you get to keep your paycheck and your job when you fired 100 people? For, like, some team's failure, 45% off. Like, if your company is 5 to 10% off of financial estimates, sure, that's the price of doing business. Great. 45%?
Yeah, that's mismanagement at that point.
Especially for a game that has the most expensive real money cosmetics in the industry. Like, it's so
and it's not
much.
A free-to-play game. You need to buy the game and the content and everything
and
else.
The season passes and the dungeons now, like, and the event passes and $10 for like an emote. Like, it's bad, man. And you still missed it by 45%, bro.
The worst part is, even if they got rid of the current CEO, in his contract, I bet you he has the built-in golden parachute where he would make more money getting fired than he would keeping him on.
The whole
thing
sucks.
Ridiculous.
And everybody was lining up to, like, kick Sony in the giblets, saying, like, well, of course Sony let them all go. Where's the $1.7 billion they bought them for? And it's like, the 1.7 has already been spoken for. That was for investors from, like, 2 years ago. Shut up. But also, like, Sony has been killing a bunch of positions. Like, everybody... The reason why I wanted to bring it up in the news stories is this layoff means that we've crested over 6,000 game dev layoffs this year. That's fucked, man. For a year where there's been like 400 10 out of 10 best-selling AAA games coming out this year, and the industry has never been bigger and never made more tens of billions of dollars. Now probably hundreds of billions of dollars. Most people got laid off.
Yeah, it's the fucking whole tech thing of like, oh, tech companies like the .com fucking literal tech, not gaming tech, but tech.
Silicon Valley stuff.
They make 100% profit year over year. That 100% growth, 100% growth, 100% growth.
Grow.
So, I think I talked about it. I bought the Max Payne alike. I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I bought that is because the studio head is very open and clear about saying, hey, I want to make sustainable games. I want my staff to work 40-hour weeks. They can do it in 4 days if they want. They have time off. They have a livable wage and all the other shit. That's why I bought it. I haven't played it yet, but I bought it because I want that mentality to thrive.
Yeah.
It's just, so frustrating.
Everything's fucked.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Everything's hopefully starting to change because enough people are getting pissed off and fed up with working 3-4 jobs and still not being able to make fucking ends meet at this point.
Yeah, not buy strawberries at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
let me tell you about the fucking $200 I spent on groceries this week.
Oh my god. Yeah, we got to go. We got to go grocery shopping since we got back from our trip, and I was like, I don't want to. Let's just never eat again.
Today we spent $207 on groceries, and it was only that low because we still had groceries. Like this was kind of our filler week, our in between. So we still had stuff left over, so we didn't have to buy as much.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is
and
fucking
Pharaoh
ridiculous.
Chat, yes, El Paso Elsewhere is correct. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I keep seeing Blessing. I think he's the head of the studio out there talking about that studio. That's great.
No, Blessing is with Kind of Funny.
Oh yeah. Maybe Blessing was just tweeting
second.
about, "Hey, I love El Paso Elsewhere."
Zalevia Nelson Jr., aka the Baldur's Gate 3 hot takes guy. He's the head of the studio.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the one who turned around and said, yo, Baldur's Gate is not a standard you should expect from every game, and got fucking roasted for it.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that everything he said was fucking correct.
Yes, 100%. Okay, are you guys ready to wrap this thing up?
Oh. Apparently, my son is telling me that it's 5 hours to beat Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Great, I love it. Let's be in and out. Fun for a $5. Fun in 5 hours. Let's do it.
But yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of November 6th, 2023. The Invincible comes out PS5, Series consoles, and PC. It's a really interesting sci-fi exploration game. Looks like kind of like a 50s sci-fi novel cover come to life. It has that very cool retrofuturism style to it. It seems like it's almost one of those kind of like Firewatch games where you're walking around, you're solving some puzzles, you're interacting with a bunch of stuff. So I don't know. That looks really cool. I know that 11-bit is publishing it. I usually like the stuff they publish, so that seems neat. That's The Invincible. Go check out a trailer for that. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 comes out. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This is a sequel to their platform fighter. Still a platform fighter. I think the original one had 14 fighters or something like that, and there's going to be 11 more, I believe the press release said. It looks like, when I went to go look at this, a bunch of people were saying they seem to have addressed the majority of complaints that the hardcore fans had of the first game, and like trying to make it more accessible and trying to make it a little bit more playable. They added some like almost Guilty Gear style kind of bar to it, which is really interesting. People seem to really like that first one, so I'm glad they're sticking with it. And this one looks cool. That's coming out.
I'm surprised they're coming out with the second one so soon.
Yeah, it seems like that it might just be like a really good reason for them to just say like, yeah, we're gonna redo all of this and kind of include all of it and then add a bunch more stuff. So
Yeah.
it seems like a sequel done right, which is nice. Next up is Risk of Rain Returns, comes out on Switch and PC. I'm going to assume for other platforms later, but I couldn't find a definitive answer. This is a remake of the original game. Thankfully, Hopu Games is working on this one. This is published by Gearbox Publishing, which, please, Gearbox, make a more distinct name for your publishing arm. Thank you. But this is really interesting because the first one isn't necessarily bad looking or a bad game. So sort of surprising that they're going to go do a remake. But it does look significantly different. Still kind of the same game, but animations especially look greatly increased and improved here. And I believe they said there's at least one new character that you can play as. So I like the first Risk of Rain a whole lot. I have no idea how much this is supposed to cost, but I might check this out when it comes out because Risk of Rain 1 is real good. So we'll see. Next up is Berserk Recharged, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. Atari's been doing these recharged games where they're essentially kind of doing a modern remake of old Atari games, like 2600, 5200 sort of games. And this time they're doing Berserk, and it looks like Berserk, so kind of like a what we'd call a twin stick shooter nowadays. I feel like the art style is probably going to be the most divisive part of this. It looks kind of sort of, I say this lovingly, it looks Flash game-ish.
Yes.
But
I will say, like, when I saw this in the releases, when I looked at the show notes doc that you sent over, legitimately thought it was an anime.
yeah, the big sword
game.
anime dude one.
It was too.
Yep, no, I was really excited for that. I was like, oh, they're good. Maybe they'll get a good Berserk game since the Dreamcast one, but nope.
Talking about a good M-rated game to start my son
There
off.
you go. Yep. Yeah. Next up, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, is coming out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. This is Game Pass a day and date. It is also $50. It is not a full-price game. This is the kind of bridge game for what happens to Kiryu between Yakuza 6 and then Like a Dragon 2. What was that called? Infinite Wealth is the new Like a Dragon game. So it's gonna, as Kiryu shows up in the trailers for Like a Dragon 2 with like much different looking hair and a much different style. Curious to see what is going on here, and also sort of worried that, as much as I like Kiryu, sort of worried that it's just going to always be like, hey, it's Like a Dragon, now featuring Kiryu. You know, it's like he had 7 great games and had a really good ending, so hopefully they're not going to go overboard with him being in there. I also do appreciate a bunch of trailers they had come out as just like, yeah, man, here's our minigame hub. You can play a bajillion minigames. Let's go. Here's Master System games.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those.
Here's real ladies to play a game with. It's just like,
is that
okay.
FMV? Or...
Sure is. Yep. Get a workout with a real lady. Yep. Yakuza.
Okay.
So, good on them. Love it. And then I think in a couple weeks, Infinite Wealth 2 comes out. So, we'll see what that turns out into. Oh, so good. Next up here is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 3 comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. Boy, impressions on this one have not been good for the campaign. A lot of people saying, "Hey, this just feels like a tutorial for Warzone."
What?
So,
also, Microsoft, enough with the full page banner ads
Oh my
for every
god.
game that you have to put out. I
For
get it. You're proud. I understand that. But I
they
paid
have to stop
$500
doing
plus
that.
dollars for this console. You don't get to put an ad right in front of
And
me.
no,
when
for
I
Game
you
turn
don't
it.
get
Pass-
to make choices like that.
Yeah, and for Game Pass and for Live, like I found out the reason why I don't see them is because I don't have my console on the I have the whatever the power setting is to turn it all the way off when I turn it off. So I get the Xbox load screen when I turn mine on. Other
Yeah.
people don't. They get an ad instead of it. It's like that really sucks. That all the way sucks. Microsoft,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing that. No one should be doing that. This
Literally
console isn't
complained to
free.
Microsoft support on Twitter/X this week. I was like, "Yo, what's this?
Can we
am I
not do
getting
that?
full screen ads?"
It
And they
would
were
be
like-
one thing if you're giving me the Series X console for free. Sure, I'll watch an ad every once in a while. Why not? No big deal. But that's not a cheap console.
If you want to give me the console for free, I will happily watch 3 minutes of ads every single time I turn that thing on.
Sure.
But you know full well that it's just going to go right back to how it is now.
Yep.
Because no company can resist shoving crap down your throat after you've paid for it while telling you that you don't really own this.
That's right.
Like the home screen one, I like the home screen of all of these consoles. I get it. That's prime placement where
Yep.
you put ads, you get paid for it. That's fine. Whatever. I understand that.
I still don't
As long
like
as
that.
it has no, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I
Yeah.
get it. It's a way to monetize the business. I understand that. As long as it has those games across the front, like my most recently played games,
Yeah.
I'm fine. Quick launch to whatever I want to do.
I actually like a
the
lot how
full screen pop-ups.
that's unacceptable. I actually like how Sony does it a lot on the PS5, where you have your strip of games, and they have like there's the PS Plus icon all the way on the left. There's a store icon,
Yeah.
and then there's like a For
What's
You
happening
icon.
now or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like, and that one usually has all of the ads in it. But
that one's
that's
all ads all the
that's
time.
and usually they're for things that you play or are like things you play. But once you get out of that tab, it's all gone, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Shouldn't still be there. Put it in the store, but whatever. Agreed. Stop doing that. Microsoft, everybody. Last game we have here on the list, Dungeons 4 comes out on PS5, Series consoles, and PC. This is also Game Pass day and date. Hey, did you like a Dungeon Keeper in the 90s?
I don't know. I never played it because I didn't have a PC.
Okay, well, it's back, baby. It's been essentially like a dungeon management
This is Overlord,
game.
except dungeons, not minions.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's really just like, you know, you're setting up your base, and you're setting up rooms, and you're fighting off heroes, and you're doing that kind of like real-time strategy, kind of god game, top-down view, and managing resources and sending out expeditions and stuff like that. It looks cool. I feel like I've seen some stuff about the first 3 games that they were apparently pretty good, and I never played them. But now that this one's on Game Pass, maybe I'll try this one out. Looks pretty cool. So that is Dungeons 4, and we've been recording for about 17 hours today, which means that this is the end of our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Also, don't forget to go over to patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Talked about all the cool stuff at the beginning of the show. If you'd like to support us financially, please do so over there. $5 a month is the recommended tier, and that's only per month. That's not per week or per episode or whatever. $5 per month is the recommended one. Can't support us financially, share us on social media, like, comment, subscribe over on the YouTube channel. That stuff helps a ton. Rate us wherever you can rate us on whatever podcatcher, Spotify and Apple podcasts. Those are the big ones. Those help a ton. And everywhere else you can rate us, that would help a whole ton. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye!
Bye.
Boston, why exactly did you not place the Spreadsheet Manager game of the decade in the releases list?
Oh no, which one?
Football Manager 2024. It's Game Pass day and date on both PC and Xbox.
So, the problem that I'm having, and I need to find some website that doesn't totally pooch releases now, is I have to collate releases from about 3 different websites, and then I have to go look at an unofficial website to get the Game Pass releases, because Microsoft's website isn't really that good about here are the things that are coming out over this month. It's really good about here are the things that are out now, and then after that alphabetically. And so it's really hard for me to tell when a game is coming out this week as opposed to when is it hitting Game Pass this week. Because sometimes it'll be, it's out for 6 months, now it's coming out in Game Pass this week. So I thought that one was already out.
No, 2023 is already out and on Game Pass. That actually leaves tomorrow on Game Pass. 2024 comes out the 9th, and that is on PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass.
Okay.
If you want a solid Xbox version of that, True Achievements has a great releases list, which literally categorizes them with Game Pass logos too. So you can see what comes with what. That's how I find out each week.
Okay, I'll go look at that. All right, Nimp, let's fly through this. What titles do you have?
All right, I have the on but not the off. The Ron Swanson of cheesecakes. You and 50 of your best friends. Pablo Estabat. Manifest Illusions. And Sci-Fly.
Okay, Moon, what do you have?
Ingrained in my soul, I like making things bigger, which is one that you missed, but I'm sure that's a veto.
That's why I didn't say it. It's on my list.
Yes. I don't have any off. George of the Jungle, That Tree. I Need a Remedy. I Stayed in the Wrong Cabin. Stupid Thermos. Funky Stuff in My Pockets. And The Minimum Basic of Working.
I have Don't Worry About a Video, The Nicest Thing on the Plate, I Am Feeling Ill, George of a Jungle, A Tree, and My Musical Bones. The worst part about this is there are a lot of really good titles this week.
We did a lot of talking.
Thanks for hanging out, Icetown. Appreciate you hanging out. Any titles that really stick out to you?
Not really.
What was your back 3 again, Tim?
My last 3?
Yeah.
Pablo Estabat, Manifest Illusions, and Sci-Fly.
Sci-Fly.
SCI-FLY. I'll circle it. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Oh boy, I'm curious on what you have so quickly.
Locked and loaded.
Yeah. All right. Yep, let's go.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 837 for November 6th, 2023. Sci-Fly.
Have I told you about Elite Dangerous lately?
Just because you gave it a laser doesn't make it science fiction.
Hey, tell that to 6th day.
That's right. All right, we got to go. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.